Join me on an epically mediocre adventure in transforming this, which was the cheapest Aygo in the entire world, France, and transforming it into a supercharged, well, it's still a good shitbox, but whatever. And then culminating in a road trip all the way from France to the Netherlands. I bought this cheapest Aygo in the entire of the world / France with the intention of turning it from a shitbox, well, to a more fun and more fast box. So I'm Ross and I live in France, hence the English accent and French number plates and car. And I love myself a shit project, and I don't think anything comes quite as close to that as this. This is a, I think 2010, 1 litre, 3-cylinder Toyota Aygo with princely 60 horsepower. And I want to change it from the granny's grocery getter, that rolls off the tongue nicely, into a supercharged 120 horsepower, 800 kilogram backlane beater. That equally rolls off the tongue nicely. So this is where we're at. Now I picked this car up for the princely sum of 400 euros, and it was broken at the time, and I still think I was ripped off. And I want to see if I can turn it into that supercharged beast for less than $2,000 or euros in the country that I am currently in, but for the worldwide people, dollars. But as you can probably tell, this isn't how I got this car. It was worse. It really was a lot worse. I'll explain. Now you'd be forgiven in thinking, whoa, Ross, you've got a very nice fine grey and black Aygo there. But that's not how she started life. When I received her, she had a broken alternator, which cost me a princely sum of 150 euros to replace, myself of course, so that's already coming off the budget. On top of that, it had peeling paint all over it. I don't know what it is about Toyotas, but their need for paint that doesn't stay on a car is rather annoying. So it started as red, but the clear coat was just peeling off everywhere, and so that obviously had to be addressed as well. The person who had it before clearly liked to drive into snowdrifts. I don't know, but there was a big dent in the front bumper. The bumper bar behind that is pushed back. The headlights were then cracked because of it. So hence the reason I feel a bit mugged off at 400 euros, but we have to take 400 euros off the total. We're spending this money quite quickly. Irrespective of the price, I still think it's the cheapest Aygo in the entire world, or at least that's what the title of this video is going to say. So I still think it is. I mean, try and find a cheaper toy. Don't, because you will find it. But apart from the obvious colour change, let's have a look at some of the modifications and the costs of what I've done so far to make it slightly less of a shitbox, but actually not faster yet. So let's have a look. The first thing I needed to change was, I mean, it doesn't have a rev counter, I'm not changing that. It had no stereo, we'll go into that. It has wind down windows for weight saving, bonus. It also has no aircon, which is actually a bit of a problem for something else. But the first thing I actually changed were those speakers up there for 30 euros and this AliExpress head unit for 50 euros. Now, you're probably thinking that it has to be utter garbage for 50 euros, but I tell you what, I had an aux cable that, and this has CarPlay or whatever, it's Android or whatever it is on there, so it's way better. 50 euros, I actually can't fault it. It's really bloody good. So it may not be to do with speed or anything like that, but it's a must-have mod. Honestly, I can't knock it for the money. Another non-performance mod, but a must-have in my mind, is also related to good music, and it's this. Yes, that's right. It's an 80 euros, so that's another 80 euros off the budget. AliExpress active sub. For 80 euros, it's an absolute bargain, and so whatever, I bought it, so fuck off. And cosmetically, you can obviously see that it used to be red, used to be being the operative word, because of course I didn't want to just spray it. Normally, I want it to be hard wearing, so I could twat it around without any consequence, well, that sort of consequence, so I did this. Yes, that is Raptor bedliner, and that is Nardo Grey. I bought the tintable kit so I could basically paint it whatever colour I want, but I really like the black and grey combo. So I also sprayed these bumper bits there. I also sprayed the badge. So we've got a bit of a black and grey theme going on. These lights also got replaced. As you can see, they were milky and cracked before, so that was another 80 euros off the budget. But the fun doesn't stop there. Well, it does for now, but as you can see at where it is now, it's slightly different from where it started, and I am digging the colour combination. But of course I want to take this further. You can imagine this significantly drop. Some nice wheels and some wide arches, maybe an exhaust. And at the same time, how about 120 horsepower? Maybe, you know, a supercharger. Now that is what I call fun. There is a company in Holland that produces a supercharge kit for the Toyota Aygo. And whilst they're very busy and they're not going to do it for me, they're giving me all of the advice I need in order to do it myself. And I thought, what better way to reward their beautiful advice than to finish this wonderful series in a 1,200-kilometer road trip all the way from France to the Netherlands. It will take me all the way through France, all the way through Germany to Holland in this when it's supercharged. But it has to make it back as well, so that might be a bit of a test of my workmanship. It's gonna break down. So if you're interested in watching a degenerate find the cheapest and dirtiest way to supercharge and turn this into a 120 horsepower monster, I say monster, you know, then I encourage you wholeheartedly to follow along, subscribe, hit the belly thing, and comment when you find a cheaper Aygo, because you can't. I have a ton more projects coming up this year as well, many different road trips that I am planning with degenerate cars that I'm planning to purchase, because I think it's more fun that way. Why have one nice car when you can have 20 really crap ones that provide fun? So if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in and you're weird as well, then I suggest you follow along, because that's what's going to happen. I'll see you in the next video when modifications arrive.